It doesn't seem to have much to it. It hasn't improved that much since it went off the air. It could have been a lot better. It could have been slightly better written, especially the last story.
Why? The same.
Hello everybody, it is Sunday, which means it's Doctor Who time. I was a bit apprehensive about making this video because, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, it's not exactly going to be a great one. I really like Doctor Who, I really do. I want to like it, and I think that's the issue for me. I really want to like it, but there's things that just aren't falling into place for me. There's things that aren't going well, and I really want to explore that with you guys and see where things are going so wrong. Now, the reason I've included Chris in that first bit of the video is purely because I just find it so funny how he's the one who's saying it's, you know, not going very well, it's going down the pan, it's stale, you know, things like that, because I want to explore really where things aren't going exactly where I want them to go. So Jodie Whittaker was introduced as the next Doctor. I know a lot of people were excited, I wasn't. Now, it wasn't because she was a female. Obviously, I would love to see a female in the role. It was more because I don't like it when the Doctors change. I never have. When Christopher Eccleston changed into David Tennant, I remember watching it with my mum and we both just went, well, we're not watching that again. He's not going to be any good. How wrong were we? Then when Tennant went into Smith, I was adamant I was never going to watch it. I thought Smith was rubbish in that first scene, when now I think he's amazing. He is my favourite ever Doctor. But then even then, from when Smith changed into Capaldi, hated it again. Didn't think Capaldi was going to be any good. I think he's fantastic. So I was just doing the whole routine of, well, I don't really like it when there's a new Doctor, so I'm not going to like her. The difference being, when a new Doctor has been on the scene and I have felt that they're fully integrated with the show, I've still liked them. Jodie has not done that for me, and I don't think it's her, but we're going to get onto that a little bit later. I don't think it's her. I've seen her in Broadchurch, I've seen her in Black Mirror. She's fabulous in that. She can act her socks off. She's so good. But just because you're a great actress doesn't mean that you are meant to play the Doctor, in my opinion. And again, I want to like her. Revolution of the Daleks has changed it a bit. I'm excited for series 13 because I feel like that's when I'm going to really decide whether she is it for me or she isn't. But anyway, I just want to go into little facts that I know about the show and see if this all contributes to what I'm talking about. So Jodie came onto our screens on the 7th of October 2018. Massive moment, which is so shown in the ratings as well. For 2018, the ratings were 7.96 million, which was great compared to the last year, which was 5.64. Obviously, it's because everyone wanted to see what Jodie was going to be like, how she was going to react. A really decent first episode as well. It was one where I actually went, because my parents don't watch it anymore, but I went back to them and said, give it a watch because it's actually really good. I enjoyed it, but it was everything that came after. Everything that happened after that, I just... more and more, it was a no for me. And I think there was only about 3 out of 10 episodes that I genuinely enjoyed and thought, yeah, I could watch that again. So just going back to the ratings, in 2019 for Resolution, it was on to 7.13 million, and then for 2020 it dropped back down to 5.4 million. That is a huge drop in my opinion. Huge drop. Now, I think that was due to Series 11 being absolute horse. So I can understand why people weren't that impressed with it. It's thinking, is it the writing or is it the acting? And I genuinely think it's a bit of both. Now, Chibnall's not my favourite writer. I mean, he's come out with some good things. He wrote Life on Mars, or a couple of episodes from Life on Mars, which is one of my favourite programmes. He has written Broadchurch, which I also thought was really good. He's written 42 with the great moment of Martha and the Doctor with the I'll save you and the Doctor and everything like that. Brilliant. But sometimes I think, did Chibnall really write that? Is that actually him? Because it is quite good. And then he wrote The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood, one of my favourite 2-parters from that series. He's written Power of Three, which was okay, but then he wrote PS, which is about Rory and his dad, and a letter to his dad. I don't want to spoil it actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a link down in the description so you can have a look for yourself, but it's a really good piece. It's something that was never filmed, so it was never televised, it was never aired, but it's an audio with a bit of animation. It's really good. Just trust me, it's good. Then of course he wrote Spyful Part 1 and 2 in season 12, which I also thought was really good. Then we got a brilliant master. I don't know what people's thoughts are. I don't know what the consensus is on Sacha Dhawan's master, but I thought it was a great iteration. He is crazy and he's energetic and he's a bit of a maniac. What would the master be without those attributes? And what would the doctor be as well, equally? So I thought he was fantastic. Then he wrote The Fugitive of the Jadoon, and this is where I question whether it is Jodie Whittaker's acting or the writing. So it's a great episode. I mean, I think they kept really well when it comes to being spoiler free with this, but we had Jack returning, who was brilliant, written so well, really true to the character still, especially with Graham and telling him how great he looks with the Graham temples. Then we get Ruth, who, you know, is just an average going person. You've all watched it on Wiley, so I hope you've watched it anyway, else I'm about to spoil it completely for you. And then we realise that she is the doctor. This is the issue, and I think they made a huge mistake with actually doing this, as good as it is. We've had Jodie for, what, 2 years by this point, but for the 15 minutes, Jo Martin playing Ruth as the Ruth Doctor, that's just what I'll call her, I think everyone calls her that, in that 15 minutes, she was more the Doctor to me than Jodie Whittaker's been in 2 years. Is it the writing? Is it the acting? I don't know, but I loved that Doctor so much. I was really hoping it was going to come out that she was going to be the next one. I was praying that she was going to be the next incarnation. How we find out that she's not the next incarnation, I'm not even going to get to, because I really hate it. As everyone does, but we're getting onto it shortly. Then he wrote Can You Hear Me? Another great episode, another fantastic episode actually, one that really delved into issues and depression and, you know, Graham dealing with his illness that he, you know, luckily got over, but it's, you know, the playing on the mind and the tricks and the anxiety that goes on in people's minds, really delving into that, and I thought it was great. The next part I want to go to and talk about is the political side of Doctor Who. Now, I am very well aware, I've only watched a few classic episodes, but I'm aware political episodes have been a thing in the past. In fact, I think I can count on one hand where there's not been a political issue in this. So having political components to an episode isn't really something that's new. It isn't really something that gets on my nerves that much until this era. Because it is not just hints. You know, before it was subtle hints about, you know, the government or the world or the planet or how humans react to certain situations. We get a really good look at those sort of political issues in things like World War III, when there's Slovenia there, and that is a, you know, political statement about the government. We have Midnight, where we you know, see how humans react when they're put in stressful situations, and it's a really good, it's one of my favourite episodes. It's a really good spin on how any normal person can do crazy things, and situation and circumstance is the caveat to that. But then we get Orphan 55, and this is where it absolutely gets on my nerves, really, because it is shoehorned into us. It is beaten into us, and, you know, like I've said it before, but it is like Chibnall comes around with the script to my house, bashes me over the head with it and says, this is your fault because humans are the worst people on the planet and it's awful that we are destroying the planet. I agree with that, but I don't want that in the show. I don't want it in something that I enjoy. Then we get to my least favourite part of it, the retcon. Don't retcon something. Don't do it. I can't remember who it was, someone spoke about it before, and a retcon is fine, but you have to evaluate what you're going to lose and what you're going to gain. And if the gain is less than what you're going to lose, then you don't do it. Don't do it. And then we had this whole spiel about the Doctor saying, oh, I don't know who I am. Like, yes, you do know who you are. Just because something's happened and has been told to you doesn't mean that you don't know who you are. And then she says, oh, but nothing, nothing's changed. Or I think it's Ruth actually that goes and says, nothing's changed, you are still who you are. And she goes, oh yeah, okay, I am still who I am, and nothing changes. So what was the point? What was the reasoning for it? And then we've got, I'm okay. Then we've got Revolution of the Daleks, and I've spoke about it before, but I'm going to speak about it again. When Ryan and the Doctor are in the TARDIS and they're talking about, things are changing and it's okay to change and that's fine. Don't tell me something that I don't think I need to know. Don't tell me something that I don't agree with, and do not tell me that I should accept something when I do not think it's right. Just pretty much, I'm not going to speak for the whole of the Whovian community, but I'm going to speak for most of them when we say we did not need it, we did not want it. The only thing that's gonna, I don't even know what the word is for it, the only thing that is going to make it okay again, and I know a lot of people have suggested this already, so if they don't do this, I'll understand, but I think it is the best situation, is that the Master has lied to the Doctor, and it is a very, very Master thing to do. So it'd be excellent to write in. It'll be very true to his character to say to her, oh, yeah, I lied and the timeless child is me. It would explain everything. It would explain why he's destroyed Gallifrey again, which is another thing I'm going to get onto in just a second. I'm rambling again, I know. And it will explain why he is so insane, why he's so hell-bent on death and destruction and being generally evil. It would explain everything. It would completely override everything. It would make the series good again. It will make me really interested in where Ruth comes in, another thing that I'll get onto, and it will make me truly get the sentiments behind what they're trying to do with this, because I feel like it's a really good idea but really poorly executed. It should be the Master. Deep breath. Anyway, so coming back to Ruth when she does tell us all that she's the Doctor. I mean, if it does go back and say that this is pre-Hartnell and this is another lifetime of the Doctor, well, it wouldn't make sense, would it? Because she calls it a ship and it's in a police box form, which only happened with William Hartnell's Doctor. So that'll completely get rid of 50 years of canon, but it's okay, I'll get through this. She doesn't say, I don't know what that screwdriver is. I mean, well, she says it, but she doesn't hate it. She just doesn't pay much attention to it. Another thing that is wrong with this whole era is the 3 companion business. I understand we've had TARDISes before, Team TARDISes, they've been a thing. We've had, and I'm just going to go off New Who really, just to keep it simple. Christopher Eccleston, we had Rose Tyler, we had Jack Harkness, I think we had Mickey at one point. We did have Mickey. Don't think he travelled, but we had Mickey just for a while anyway as part of the story in Boomtown. So that was fine. Then again in Tennant, we had Mickey Smith, Rose Tyler and the Doctor, so we've had a multiple TARDIS team there. We've had about 6 at one point in Journey's End, with everybody involved. And then, of course, with Matt Smith's era, we had Amy and we had Rory, and then, of course, at some points, River. So what's the difference between that and this? We had fully fleshed out characters before Chibnall's era. We got to know Jack really well. My finger clicked there. We got to know Mickey really well. He had a backstory, he was fine. We got to obviously know Rose because she was the main companion throughout that whole thing. And then, of course, when we've got River, we've already got a huge backstory on her. She was introduced super early, and that's the art of great storytelling, in my opinion. Get people that you have got a great relationship with, you've already fleshed them out, you've already given them a story, we already get to know them as a person, and then sling them in the TARDIS and have them travel on, then sling them in the TARDIS and have them travel with the Doctor. But we've got so much going on here. We have got a Doctor who is now female, which is huge because it's never been done before. She's made history. We've got Graham, Ryan, Yaz and Grace in the first episode. That's 5 new people that we need to get on with, get connected with, and, you know, have them come into us and have us accept them as people that are going to be in the show. No time. I'm all for, you know, going for it and putting all your eggs in one basket, but not in this thing, not in this scenario, not in this TV show. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked. The only saving grace in any way, pardon the pun, is that Graham was there but played by Bradley Walsh, because he's such a big celebrity, I suppose, in Britain. He's very well liked, he's very well loved, he's, you know, a bit of a treasure. He is the one who, when there's a script and when we are as viewers watching this play out and we think about the script and we think, oh, that doesn't work, how does that work? And Graham was the one that asked those questions for us and got the answers for us, and I really, really love that. I'm gutted he's gone. I'm gutted Ryan's gone. But I would have been even more gutted if they'd brought them in before individually, one by one, and given them a backstory. Poor Yaz had nothing to do in season 11. I mean, Demons of the Punjab was great and we did get to learn a bit about her backstory, but it's not enough. It's not enough, and I need character development for me to really enjoy it, and I just feel like I didn't get it. Now, of course, we have got the Doctor and we have got Yaz, and yes, we've got a new companion. You know, I'm equally excited, but I feel like they needed to give it one more year before introducing him, just so we could get to know Yaz. I feel like she has got so much potential, and so has the Doctor. I mean, Revolution of the Daleks, I finally got that from her. I finally got my, okay, she is the Doctor moment. I've got it. Ish. So to see them next year in the next series is going to be fantastic, because we're going to get them fleshed out, and we were very, very close. Like, it's far away from having an all-female TARDIS team, which isn't very important to me, but it seems to be for a lot of people, and I think it would be quite an interesting idea. But here's to Series 13 being better than the last. I'm really excited. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm mostly excited about Series 13. But what did you think? What is the issue with Doctor Who at the moment? What is it about the era that just isn't going well? I'd love to know. If you're watching, please let me know. I am on Twitter. I'll pop that down in the description as well. I am open to ideas and comments, so leave them all, you know, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. It's completely free, so please do it. I also want to give a big shout out to Time of the Whovians. They've helped with me, they've given me ideas on what to do about my thumbnails and things like that. I will pop a link down to their channel as well. They also have a Discord, which I will also pop down in the description. And until next time, I will see you very soon.